WIE Secretary will be your host for today. I take immense pleasure in welcoming our beloved Honorable Chairman MLA Chamraja Constituency, Honorable Secretary Sri Ravi
Ma'am, we're not able to hear
Ma'am,
the
we're not
voice.
able to hear the voice.
Audience, could you please mute yourself?
Could you please mute yourself?
Yes. So yeah, thank you, Pratibha.
Thank you, Pratibha.
I welcome all of you for
I
this
welcome all of you
session.
for this session.
And I know I'm sure like this
And
one
I know
hour,
I'm sure
next
like
1
this
hour,
1 hour,
you're going to
next one
carry
hour,
home a
you're
really
going to
great
carry
things.
home a really great
Whereas
thing.
Anand is just
Whereas
a great
Anand is just
speaker and
a
he's going
great
to give you
speaker
all a
and
great information.
you all a great
And
information.
I request
And
even the audience to just to
I
listen to him
request even the
carefully and
audience to
jot
just
down the
to listen
questions,
to
and
him
we have a
carefully
very
and
good
jot down
interaction
the
with him.
questions and we have a very good
And
interaction with
please
him.
make use of this one
And
hour
please make
where
use of this one
you'll
hour
be really having a
where
great time
you
ahead
will
here.
be really having a great time ahead.
So thank you, Anand, for making time
So
and
thank you, Anand, for
being with
making
us.
time and being with us.
So I would like to call up
So
Sangappa for
I would like
introducing
to
our
call up
speaker.
Sangappa for introducing our speaker.
Ashwini. So I deem it as a great pleasure to introduce the resource person, Mr. Anand P. Mallia, who would be going over today's session on personality development. Mr. Anand is a business consultant and an information systems professional with more than 12 years of experience encompassing all aspects of software development process and many aspects of business operations including extensive expertise in product management, project management, program management, and software development. He has worked under UNO, World Bank, TOIP, NSDC, KSDC, KVT, ETO, and many other organizations for major skill development programs in India, Singapore, Malaysia, Thailand, UAE, Oman, Saudi Arabia, Qatar, Bahrain, Kuwait, Uganda, Tanzania, Rwanda, Kenya, Ethiopia, and Mauritius. He has trained over more than 8 lakh students since 2007 from leading engineering and business schools. He has been part of recruitment drives for TCS, Infosys, CTS, Mindtree, HCL, Wipro, IBM, Accenture, Tech Mahindra, Mahindra Satyam, Accenture, L&T, Infotech, Aditi, Symphony, Harman, Samsung, VidyaNext, with over 80,000 offers rolled out into various top Future 500 giants. He has led over 300 plus episodes on Sun Network, TV9 News, Suvarna News, Janashri News, Kasturi News for helping over 2 lakh students by holding national and state level programs for various undergraduate program discussions. He has managed delivery activities in recruitment for Microsoft and acted as a single point of contact for over 300 plus offers rolled out for Microsoft US and India, with audiences ranging from client managers to C-level executives. He has set assessments for Aditi and IBM for their internal recruitment drives, and he is in the technical panel for recruitment for Microsoft, Aditi, and Landbrokes. He is confirmed with the Forbes India Leadership Award from CNBC TV18, aimed to honor individuals and organizations who have achieved success through their vision, foresight, and business ethics. He is also a recipient of Young Turks of India Awards from CNN IBN, aimed at recognizing innovators under the age of 35 from India, exemplify the spirit of innovation across domains like skill development, neuromorphic computing, biomedicine, and many more areas. He is also a proud recipient of Business Awards from Times of India and Economic Times Group for exemplary and groundbreaking performance in their edu sector verticals and making an impact to more than 7 lakh families over the last decade. He is also a proud recipient with National STEM Awards from Department of Science and Technology, Times Now Media, along with All India Council for Robotics and Automation for contributions for STEM Society of India for value add and service in science, technology, engineering, mathematics to serve the society and industry in terms of occasional training at national level. Has been confirmed with Asian Arab Awards 2018 from Indian Economic Trade Organization and Asian Arab Chambers of Commerce recognizing and honoring excellence in industry and culture on a global platform. Annual Arabs have a footprint covering over 90 countries. He is also a proud recipient of International Award of Excellence in Technical and Mathematical Domain in Hamburg Connect from Indo-German Chambers of Commerce. So with this brief introduction, I would like to formally welcome Anand Malia. Over to you, Ashwini. Thank you.
I think it is just a great profile, and I would like to say personally that Anant is an young achiever. So being so young and achieving a lot of things, it's not so easy, and he's a multitasking person. So I think we have a great opportunity for the next 1 hour for interacting with him and understanding about, I mean, whatever doubts we have, we can always talk to him. And over to you, Anant. Thank you so much for being with us. It's a great pleasure for us hosting you, and the session is over to you.
Before Anant starts, I would like to share that Anant is a student of Information Science and Engineering 2007 batch UBC, and he is a wonderful keyboard player. So he is a good musician and keyboard player also. Welcome to you, Anant.
Thank you, ma'am.
I think I've used a perfect word that he is multitasking. Over to you, Anant.
Okay. Thank you, Dr. Ashwini, and I thank Dr. Deepa Shonai ma'am for giving this opportunity. It is wonderful to have everybody in one table whom I know. Vidya Vikas Mysore is also an institution which is very close to my heart because I've been interacting right with the principal, the head of the department, electronics, computer science, the training department, placement cell, and I've had a long association with both institutions. So anyway, without wasting too much of a time, let's keep the things very simple. Don't go with what was read out of the last 10 minutes. If we can make an impact with each other for the next 1 hour, okay, I will probably put this session as part of my resume forever. So that's how each and every activity actually works for all of us. Now, without wasting too much of a time, let's get into problems. Looking at my face, you can really make out that there's a lot of math written. Now for the students, I'll just put a few points across before I start with the first problem statement. I just want everybody to have a scribbling pad with you all so that if you have any thought process, you can pin it down. And when time arises, you can unmute and talk to me. I want this entire session to be interactive because it's going to be on problem solving, and I'll make the best use of this 1 hour so that it gives you a maximum impact into your placements. Okay. Now, before we get into details, let me put one thing across to everybody. Everybody knows that this year during the COVID period, there has been more assessments which has gone virtual. And many of you would have written tests like Aspiring Minds, OCubes, eLitmus, or MeritTrack, or you can say Metal. These are some of the popular assessment vendors. Now, as of now, even if you don't know the names, it's okay. I'll keep this very, very simple after some time. And what I'll do is I'll give you an insight into 5 or 6 different variety of problems so that you have a takeaway. And the last 15 minutes of this session, I will keep it open for questions so that you can feel free to ask me anything under the sun. Okay, so let's get into the first problem statement. Okay, I'm sure you would have heard of these kind of problems. The first question has to do with ratios. I just want everybody to think. Please look at the screen and you can write down whatever data you want. Okay, now I have 3 people A, B, C. Okay, I'll simple problem statement to begin with. Now they have some marbles in their pocket. Okay, they have some marbles in their pocket. You don't even know which number because it's not the same number. All 3 of them have some marbles in their pocket. What happens is, I'll give you a simple story to start with. First, A gets up. He takes a count of how many marbles B and C has, and from his pocket, he'll give them some marbles such that B and C will now triple the amount of marbles they had. Okay, so please listen to the opening statement. A will get up. he will count the number of marbles which B and C have, and from his pocket, he'll give them some marbles such that B and C will now triple the amount of marbles that they have. For example, if B has 2, A will give him 4 from his pocket, so that 2 becomes 6. Basically, it will triple. Okay. Then B will get up. He will count the number of marbles which A and C have, and from his pocket, B will now triple the amount of marbles which A and C have. This is step number 2. Now, interesting, what happens in the third iteration? C will get up. He will count the number of marbles which A and B have, and C will now triple the amount of marbles which A and B have from his pocket. Okay. It's an interesting coincidence that exactly after these 3 steps, all 3 of them ended up with 27 marbles each. Exactly after these 3 steps, all 3 of them ended up with 27 marbles each. My question to you is, how many marbles did all 3 of them begin with? Okay. Assuming some of you joined a little late, I'll just repeat the question. Just to get clarity, you can write a little bit of data along with me. And I'm assuming all of you are excited to solve all these kind of problems and will unmute and talk to me eventually. But let me repeat the question. There are 3 people, ABs, everybody's understood till there. A will get up. He will count how many marbles B and C has, and from his pocket, give the B will get up. He will count the marbles which A and C have, and B will then triple the amount of marbles which A and C have from his pocket. Last step, C will get up. He will count the marbles which A and B have, and from his pocket, he will triple the amount of marbles they have. It's an interesting coincidence. Exactly after these 3 iterations, all 3 of them had 27 marbles each. My question to my dear students is, how many marbles did all 3 of them begin with? You guys have a couple of minutes to solve this question. In case you have missed data, you can unmute and talk to me. Manjunath, 9. Okay, Manjunath, listen to this. If they had 9 marbles initially, all 3 of them won't have 27 because they are not borrowing external marbles. They're only redistributing. They're only redistributing. They don't have same number of marbles. They're only redistributing. In case it was only laterally tripling, then 9 becomes 27. That I agree. You can all use the chat box, or you can even unmute and talk to me, but please keep this interactive. Anybody else? There are a good 98 participants. Anybody else? Any thought process? Anybody has anything to share? Okay, one more person on the chat. Okay, let's check. Anybody? How will you determine the total number of marbles? Okay, for everybody's reference, please look into the screen now. I'll just give you a small reference here. So suppose there were 3 people, A, B, and C. Okay, I'll just give you a small reference. This will help you to solve the problem. Okay, I said they had some marbles in their hand. Okay, let's assume X, Y, Z, just like a traditional problem. Okay, let's assume that it is X, Y, and Z. Okay, now I said A will get up, he will triple whatever B and C have. This is first step. Okay, A will basically make Y as 3Y and probably Z as 3Z. Okay, this is if you want it in terms of algebra. Second step is B will get up, he will triple whatever A and C have. Last step, C will get up. This is the third step. C will get up, he will triple whatever A and B have. So what happens eventually after these three things happen? All three of them will end up with 27 each. This is the problem statement. This is a very popular problem. This will be asked in some of the services-based companies that you're going to write very shortly. That's why I particularly took this problem from my experience. You guys have to tell me how many marbles did all three of them begin with? So how would you solve the problem? Anybody? Anybody wants to go to the chat window and just write, sir, it's a very difficult problem. Mother promise, I don't know. I have a few responses on the chat window, please. Can I have a few responses from the chat window? What is your thought process? So that I can scale down or scale up from the next problem. I'll also give you a lot of ideas. Don't worry, guys. I won't be as scary. Please understand, not everybody who meets you in the evening sometimes belongs to mammals. Few people can belong to reptiles. I'm sure many of you are cursing me that you have problem solving in the evening. But assuming that you guys are engineers and enjoy the kind of problem solving that is going to be there for your placements, I've given you. Yeah, somebody wants to talk? Meenal. Anybody else? Any thought process? Okay, I'll keep this question aside for a while. Don't worry, since I'm using this 1 hour, I don't want this to be one-way traffic and I don't want to be doing the talking. Let me get into the second question. I'll give you something a little simpler. I want everybody to interact and give me the answer for this. This question has to do with binary logic. Okay, this question has to do with binary logic. Everybody has studied the truth table when you were in school. And as electronics engineers, you know the toggle better than anybody else, on becoming off and off becoming on. So let me give you a simpler question and see how you guys are coming up with answers. Okay, and I'll keep it non-mathematical. So good news, I'll keep it a little non-mathematical. So let's see how many of you are coming up with answers. Now, let's take the next case. 5 girls meet in a party. Okay, now I see all the boys will question carefully. 5 girls meet in a party. And in a party, ideally, what do? They gossip. Okay, I'll just give you a simple case study. The first girl gets up and she addresses the entire 5 girls and says, among the 5 of us, exactly one of us is lying. Lying as in sullu eltirodu, as in not speaking the truth. Okay. The second girl gets up and says, among the 5 of us, exactly 2 of us are lying. The third girl gets up and says, among the 5 of us, exactly 3 of us are lying. The fourth girl gets up and says, exactly 4 of us are lying. And the fifth girl says, all 5 of us are lying. Now, my dear students, my thought process that I want everybody to tell me now is, which girl is speaking the truth and which girl is lying? And you have to also tell me why. Let me repeat the question for all of you. 5 girls met in a party and they started gossiping. The first girl says, exactly one of us is lying. The second girl says, exactly two of us are lying. The third girl says, exactly three of us are lying. The fourth girl says, exactly four of us are lying. And the fifth girl says, all five of us are lying. My dear students, please tell me which girl is speaking the truth and which girl is lying. And please give me a reason why. Now you can put your thinking caps on. You have a couple of minutes to put the thought process and give me answers. All the best, guys. Now we have a good 112 of you. I just want anybody to interact. Anybody, any thought process? Can I have Pragati in the audio? May I have Pragati on the audio? Please don't leave the meeting because I'm trying to interact with you people. Anybody else, any thought process? Any thought process? You can even use the chat window, guys. Are my problems difficult? Anybody, any thought process? No? I haven't had a single person talk. Okay, fifth girl. Okay, can I have Rupashri be on the audio if you don't mind? Can I have Rupashri be on the audio? Can you unmute and talk to me, Rupashri? Can I have the host unmuting Rupashri, who's on the chat window, so that because she wants to interact.
All participants can unmute Anant.
Okay,
themselves.
thank you. Okay. Rupashri, can you unmute and have an interaction? Or you are audio shy? Okay, let's keep it aside. I saw Rupashri writing on the chat window that the fifth girl is speaking the truth. Now, let me give everybody a thought process to think initially, so that after that you can all understand and interact with me. Now, assuming the fifth girl is speaking the truth, what did the fifth girl say? She said, all five of us are lying. The fifth girl said, all five of us are lying, which means ideally she included herself. Ideally, the fifth girl included herself. So since the fifth girl is including herself and making a statement, obviously she cannot be speaking the truth, because she can't speak the truth that including her, everybody is lying. So the fifth girl is obviously lying. Just have a thought process interacting with you all, so that I want everybody to ring through binary logic. Since you're all electronic students, you guys must be very good in toggle logic. Anybody else wants to interact? Anybody else? You can use the chat window or you can unmute and talk to me. I'm assuming the problem difficulty is of a higher standard. So shall I scale down the next problem? I'll give you some thought processes also. Now let me put few things before that in the form of a story to all my students so that it will help us to talk to each other better. Okay. First of all, if I can convert some of my thought process into words, you guys had studied all that in arithmetic. Whatever problem statement was getting converted to words, you guys studied that in a subject under math called arithmetic. Now, if I can put some of my thought process into variables, you started calling it algebra because it was in the form of variables. And if I can convert all my imagination into diagrams, it became geometry. So somebody who can convert things from words to variables and from variables to diagrams actually has mastered math. Agree? And for your placements, you need to understand that there are some aspects, okay, which will help you to distinctly get into a product-based organization. Okay, and there are some concepts which will help you to get distinctly into a services-based organization. Now, before that, let me give you a very simple, non-mathematical, lateral thinking question this time. This time, I want everybody to use the chat window and you have to come up with questions. Okay, I will answer each and every question on the chat window because this question can be answered only with questions. Okay. So lateral thinking works something like this. I'll give you an interesting problem. You guys have to think about the problem and you have to fire only questions. But I will answer only with minimum data. I'll answer only in the form of yes or no. With this, you have to find out what has happened in the case study. Okay, I will answer only in the form of yes or no. With this, you have to find out what has happened in the case study. I'll keep it non-mathematical. Listen to this. Let's see whether you can crack this. Okay. Now there are two people. Let's assume there are two people. They're in the same health condition. Okay. A and B, two people, they're in the same health condition. Both of them are served identical drinks. Both A and B served identical drinks. Okay. So there is no difference at all. Both people pick their respective drinks and complete it till the last drop. Both people pick their respective drink and complete it till the last drop. One dies, one does not. You have to tell why. Okay. You can use the chat window and you can put n number of questions. I will start interacting with you based on this particular question. I'm not putting engineering problems. Suppose you're in my interview and you want logical problems. This would be my first question. Okay. I'll repeat the question and then I'll floor open for discussion. I'll again repeat one last time. There are two people. They are served identical drinks. Both of them pick their respective drink and complete it till the last drop. One of them dies, one of them does not. Please tell me why. You can all use the chat window or you can unmute and talk to me. Please make this interactive. I have kept this non-mathematical. Anybody? What is running in your brain? Okay, Harsha is telling me that one of them had poison. Okay, interesting thing. If one has poison, it must be in both. If this is for Harsha Prem, if there was poison, there should have been poison in both. Ideally, both of them should have died because I said both drinks are similar. Now, Lakshmi says it may be because of their mental stability. Unfortunately, for this problem, it's nothing to do with mental stability for this question. Okay. Any other thought process? Any other thought process?
It depends on their age, so.
It depends on their age. Now, both of them are in the same health condition and both of them are in the same age. So I wanted this to impact both of them. So why did it not impact both? Immunity, no. I'm assuming both are in the same health condition, so both have same immunity. So it's nothing that one had lesser immunity than the other. I'm happy that some of you are coming up with answers. Let's come up with more answers. Unfortunately, in lateral thinking, you have to get to what the author has written about the question and not just our opinions. Okay, there is somebody else who was, okay, again, we have Lakshmi again who has said something. Let me get into the chat window first. Somebody died out of fear. No, it was not out of fear. Interesting processes, but it was not out of fear. It was not out of immune system and it was not out of fear. If there was poison, I agree there should have been poison, but if there was poison, there should have been poison in both drinks. How did one of them die and one of them did not? It's not to do with age. Interesting answers. Good thought processes, guys. It's nothing to do with age. Okay, one didn't drink till the last drop. No, both of them have completed their respective drinks till the last drop. Maybe because one served more drink than the other. No, it is identical drinks. Both of them have had the same amount of drinks. So Bharat, both of them had same amount of drinks and both of them drank till the last drop. Interesting answers. Any other thought process? I've got 10 or 12 answers. I want the rest of them also to participate. Make this spam my inbox so that it is difficult for me to answer everybody. It could be for the first, it might be the first time for one who died. Interesting answer. It was not because it was the first time. Interesting answer, Rupashri, but it was not because it was the first time. Any other thought process? Depends on how they drink. Okay. If it depends on how they drink, what do you think is the exact difference? Okay. I want everybody to think. I'll repeat the question slowly. Everybody listen to me carefully now. Okay. I'll repeat the question slowly. I want everybody to be so alert and tell me what is the only difference. Okay. I want everybody to be so alert that you have to tell me the only difference. Ready? There were two people. So they're in the same health condition. Same age, same health condition, same immune system. Any difference? No. They were served identical drinks. Any difference? No. The same content, the same size, the same amount. No difference at all. Both of them picked their respective glasses, completed the last drop. Any difference? Any difference? Think answer. Any difference? Yes, Pradeep. Excellent. Yes, Jyoti. Excellent. This is what I enjoy. Lovely. Now I'm getting a lot of answers. Yes, speed varies. Jyoti is right. Even Pradeep is right. So this is what I love interacting with electronic students. Now listen to this. It's obvious that one of them has drunk slowly and one of them has drunk quickly. Now can you all tell me who has died? The only difference was the speed, because the entire question, same health condition, same content, same drink. The only difference was the speed. Okay, you're telling me the one who has drunk fast has died. Interesting, okay? No. So it's obvious that the one who has drunk slowly has died. It's obvious. Okay. Now can you tell me why? Can you all tell me why? Why has the one who drunk slowly died? You have come so far. Now get into the last of the problem and solve the case study. Why has the one who has drunk slowly? Some reaction takes place. No, interesting. Now this has to do with the contents of a drink. I want everybody to list out. I want everybody to get into the chat box and list out what are the contents of a drink. I want everybody to get into the chat box and list out what are the contents of the drink. Now nobody is judging you. Don't write in the chat box that I don't drink, so I don't know. Mother promise, don't write all that. I want everybody to list out what are the contents of a drink, and that will help you. Everybody. What are the contents of a drink? A typical drink will consist of what? Everybody into the chat box. Yes, Harish, you have nailed down the answer. The poison was in the chat, in the ice cube. The poison in the ice cube. So one who drank quickly, not because the poison had not got into the drink, and one who drank slowly died because the poison was inside the ice and the poison got into the drink. Okay, interesting case study, right? So once I kept it a little non-mathematical, Mysore started giving me answers. Now I'll get into the next problem. I'll give you a similar problem now. Okay, and I want the same interaction expected from all of you. Get into the chat window and spam me, guys, because I would love to hear from all of you. And in the end of the session, you can post a lot of questions which I should be able to answer. It could be both mathematical or non-mathematical. You can try anything under the sun. I will be happy to answer. Now let's get into one more problem which is similar to the previous problem. I'll keep this methodology for all of you so that you guys enjoy this kind of problem solving. Now let's go to the problem number 2 of this kind. Okay. A man gets up in the night. A man gets up in the night and he accidentally switches off a light. Okay. And he accidentally switches off a light. Morning when he gets up, he sees he's committed a disaster. Okay. I'll repeat the problem statement for all of you. It's a very interesting problem. Think and answer. A man gets up in the night and he accidentally switches off a light. But morning when he gets up, he sees he's committed a disaster. The problem statement is over. The floor is open for discussions. Get into the chat window and tell me what has happened and what's wrong. I want everybody to solve this problem. Think and answer. Harsha, unfortunately, it's not short circuit. When I'm coming down to Mysore, I would love to meet Harsha Prem. He's been interacting, giving me a lot of ideas. This question has nothing to do with short circuit. Interesting answer, but not the answer which the author has written for the question. Any other thought process that will fit into the problem? Anybody else? There are 116 of you. Get into the chat window. Write something. A man gets up in the night and he accidentally switches off a light. Morning when he gets up, he sees he's committed a disaster. What could have happened? He switched off in dreams. No, he's very much got up, he switched it off, and he's accidentally slept. He's not done it in his dreams. Interesting thought process. So if you can't convince the HR in the interview, you want to confuse him. Nice thought process. Let's see. I have one more person interacting with my chat window. Let's see what they have to say. Voltage might be high. No, this had nothing to do with the voltage. So a disaster is actually many people dying, right? Okay, I have Harsha Prem again. Logically, it's night. So how come he switched off something? You have to tell me. I don't plan the logic. You have to plan the logic. You have to use your imagination and tell me where he was and what he did. Okay, I have one interesting answer out here. Yes, Bharat, you're right. Yes, Bharat, you're right. Look at how the thought process is. The person was the operator at the lighthouse. He's got up in the night and he's accidentally switched off the light of the lighthouse and he's actually slept. And he got a disaster. Okay. Oh, it's an interesting one. One last non-mathematical problem today, and then I'll leave the floor open for some questions because I've used 40 minutes. Let's see how you guys react to this problem. One last question of this time. This time I want everybody to use your chat window and get as many answers as possible so that the whole thing can be discussed. Okay. A man goes to a bar. Okay. and asks the bartender for something. The bartender shows him a gun. The man says, "Thank you," and walks off. Okay, I know that it looks a little silly, but this is how non-mathematical problems are designed in interviews. Okay, I'll repeat the question again. A man goes to a bar and asks the bartender for something. Bartender shows him a gun. The man says, "Thank you," and walks off. You have to tell me what has happened. All the best, Vidya Vikas. Come on, I want answers. I want Mysore to do the talking, get into the chat window, or you can unmute. I want to hear from somebody. Tell me what has happened. What did he ask the bartender? It was a lighter. I wish. No, he has not asked, because you have to tell me. Okay, there is something very specific. No, it was not the I have a lot of. How else do you solve this problem? What did he ask for? And why would somebody show you the gun? It has a very specific meaning. Maybe he went to purchase a gun. No, we won't go to a bar in order to purchase a gun. Interesting answer, but logically not sound. He has not gone there. He has not been there to purchase a gun. Any other answer? He asked for menu. So why will somebody show you a gun? Okay, he asked for money. No, he didn't ask for money. He asked for something which is not available in the, or alcohol for free. Some health issue. Okay, many people interacting. No. He didn't say he won't pay for the drink. You are giving me very interesting answers. So look at how beautiful lateral thinking is, right? All your answers are fitting into the question, but it is not what I want. I've got a lot of answers. In fact, my chat box is spammed. I've been reading through everybody, but interesting. All this is not what I'm looking for. Anybody else? Security guard, no. Ask the owner for alcohol, how to avoid the. Was happy to show gun and thank you. Oh, interesting stories. It is fitting into the question, but it's not the answer. Alcohol for discount, no. I would love to come down to Mysore and meet you all in person. I will do it soon. Why did, okay, he asked for the gun, so he was shown the gun. No. How come a bar owner owns a gun? Okay, let's not get emotional. I am the HR. If I say the bartender has a gun, mother promise he has a gun. If I say he does not, he really does not. That's how hypothetical an interview is, right? Okay. What happens? I want everybody to get into the chat window and write only one thing which comes to your mind. What is the first reaction you get when somebody shows you a gun? Please write very honestly. What is the first reaction you get when somebody shows a gun? Please write very, very on in your chat box. Gun is moving. No, actual gun. What else happens when somebody shows you a gun? What happens to you when somebody shows you a gun? I want everybody to write anxiety, pulse increases. Okay. Fear. Thank you, Vidyashree. Okay, fear. It's true. We get fear. We get fear. Okay. Now, why will somebody thank you when you're having fear? Think of this. Why did bartender show him a gun? Obviously, if he shows him a gun, But after the fear, I said, thank you. So fear is not something that I thank people for. But what is the only occasion somebody can thank you for fear? It's a very interesting day-to-day problem. Your mother would have probably done this at least once with you at your home itself. So he asked the bartender for something. He wanted something. The bartender probably had it or did not have it. But yes, the man had hiccups. Again, Bharat Kamath has got it on the dot. Bharat Kamath again has got it on. It was the second consecutive question. Bharat, if I come down to Mysore, I will interact with you one-on-one. You have given me couple of answers. I even in between every chat window, I will remember who has. I got that, man. You would have got that from my name. I got that from your name. Anyway, Bharat, are you from Mangalore? From a college from Mangalore?
Yes, sir. I'm from Canara Engineering College.
Oh, lovely. Okay, lovely. Nice. It was nice interacting with you. Okay. I have also been a part of Canara Engineering College. I have met your placement department, and your current principal is a good friend of mine. I have served Canara Engineering for 5 or 6 years. I come there for solving problems like this. Even I'm a part of Canara, I'm a part of Vidya Vikas as well. Anyway, let's keep that aside. I want everybody to understand the man actually went to the bar and he asked the bartender for water. The man actually went to the bar and he asked the bartender for water. The bartender realized that the person is asking him for water in order to cure his hiccups. So hiccups can be cured by either sugar or water or by creating sudden fear. So when the bartender actually showed a gun suddenly to the man, the hiccups got cured. So the man said, thank you. Okay. It was a very nice 50 minutes with you all. I've asked you 3 or 4 non-mathematical problems and a couple of mathematical problems. I know for the mathematical problems was a little tricky. Before I leave for the day, anybody has anything to ask? I leave the floor open for questions now. I leave the floor open for questions. Mysore and Mangalore, any questions for me? Anything under the sun, you can feel free. And first of all, I'm proud to tell you that I was also a IEEE board member and a treasurer as a student out of UVC. A lot of their brains in order to career. Okay. Please remember, guys, we all have engineering as a dream because we want to move from lower middle class to upper middle class. And trust me, guys, if your problem solving is right, your dreams will be converted to reality. Okay. Before I interact with some of the questions in the last 10 minutes, I'll make one important statement which I tell my college engineers every day. This will help you all. Okay, this will help you all forever. Okay, remember, guys, engineering gives you 4 years of your Instagram or Facebook. Engineering will give you 4 years of your Instagram or Facebook. But engineering must determine the next 25 years of your LinkedIn. You must have a story to write. You must say on your LinkedIn profile, apart from saying directly, the next possible biggest update must be Vice President at Microsoft. So it would probably member at IEEE and probably it ends at Vice President at Microsoft. That's how a journey can be. So let me congratulate all the students who are hardly 17, 18, 19, 20, 21 who have been listening to me patiently for the last 1 hour. I know it's very difficult to meet virtually. I would have loved to meet you all one-on-one because it would have been beautiful to interact one-on-one in the classroom. You've understood that my methodology is giving the floor open for questions. I want to tell all of you one thing. Engineering, in the product space, you have 2 categories. When you are selecting a company, you have 2 or 3 things which you have to remember. And when you're remembering this, please remember, there is something called 1X 3x, 8x, and beyond 8x. I'm not discussing algebra in the last 2 minutes of my session. I'm not going to depress you with any variables. As engineers, I want everybody to dream now, assuming that your age is between 17 and 21. Please remember 1x, 3x, 8x, and beyond 8x. Now, x is a variable which happens to be your experience tomorrow with the number of years that you're putting in your operation. Okay? X, I mean to say the number of years that you're putting later. Now, if many of you are choosing consultants, you want to get into Deloitte, Goldman Sachs, Ernst & Young. Since this was on placements, I want to put everything across. The highest salary is on consulting side, and some of the companies which pay premium salaries, companies like Ernst & Young, Deloitte, KPIT, JP Morgan Chase. Now by 9x, I mean beyond 8x is minimum 9x. So by beyond 8x, I mean in 2 years of experience, you can draw 18 lakhs salary if you are in the consulting space. You have to build problems, okay? I'll give you a syllabus on how to build it also if you guys are interested. Now, let me look at 3x to 8x, okay? I told you beyond 8x, which is on the consulting space. 3x to 8x is some of the latest technologies which IEEE also will host for you, or your college is hosting for you. Example, Internet of Things, machine learning, artificial intelligence, VLSI, embedded systems, data scientist. What is available in niche in the market? Not where the supply is too much. What is available in niche? And my dear kids, you must be good in a bit of probability, a bit of statistics in order to claim 3x to 8x. If you're a data scientist and you have just 3 years experience, what is 8x? You're going to draw 24 lakhs per annum. I am not exaggerating. I've seen the industry. I'm talking in terms of recruitment. I've just kept problem aside. I'm just giving you an update on what you should do between 17 and 21. Now, let me go to 3x. Who's a typical 3x? A normal full stack developer. He studies front end, back end, business layer. He studies VLSI. He studies embedded. He's able to understand a problem thoroughly. He's able to do multitasking. But he's not in the niche technologies. He's not in the niche technologies like IoT or machine learning or cloud or any of the latest technologies. Those guys are between 1x to 3x. So which means if I'm a Java developer and I have 10 years of experience, then I can claim 30 lakhs because that is 3x. Okay, I'm just giving an example. Don't take this literally and I don't take it as a Bible, but I'm assuming that this will help you forever. And the last is 1x. You waste your engineering and barely study previous day to the examinations. And 9 o'clock to 12 o'clock, you wrote your exams. 12 o'clock, 1 minute, you forgot what you wrote in your own booklet. It's happened to all of you. Everybody will raise your hands now, and many of you are laughing out there. And you guys are not going to be serious about placements. You guys are neither IEEE members or neither looking after your fest, neither making anything critical to the college or for yourself. Then you will be satisfied. Then you will be satisfied. 3x to 1x. Now, what I want everybody to understand, Rohit, can you be on mute, please? Rohit, Amen. Okay. What I want everybody to understand with 1x to 3x is, suppose you're taking a support role, you guys are doing only automation, Control Alt ZZ for your life. Then you will get, even after 10 years, you will be at 7 lakh CTC. Okay. I hope I made a little bit of sense. Now let me tell you what engineering will give you. Okay. If you are going to talk embedded systems better than anybody else in India, it's your goal. But if you want to have 100 Siberian Husky puppies doing kuchi kuchi around your body, it is your dream. Okay. I want everybody before your placements to distinctly write 3 dreams and 3 goals. This is another 70% of your placements. The rest 30% is in your resume. I'll come to that. I want everybody to write 3 dreams and 3 goals separately, which will drive you. For example, I want to have Shivamani playing drums in front of me so that I play second fiddle drums What is the goal? I want to talk artificial intelligence better than anybody else in India. Goal. My students, anything related to science, technology, engineering, math, or anything related to your IEEE becomes your goal. But remember, everything that you have in your goal and dream. Okay? With these few words, I hope it was. I wanted to send a message across to everybody. Right from Canada Engineering, probably from Mangalore to Vidya Vikas in Mysore to the IEEE Bangalore section, for everybody who efforts, and the two most beautiful colleges in Bangalore, University of College of Engineering, which I studied. Because if I don't mention the alma mater that I was born out of, it will be injustice to the whole session. To everybody who has given me this opportunity, for Dr. Ashwini ma'am and Dr. Deepa Shranay ma'am, and the IEEE section of Bangalore. Thank you so much for having me here. I would have the floor open for discussion now. Anybody has any questions to ask? Answer for the question which we didn't. Okay, Pragati. Pragati is literally saying she wants the answers. Okay, I'll get back to the marble problem so that people who are struggling in math, suppose this comes in your interview, that time you don't want to struggle. Let me get to the marble problem. Thank you, Pragati, for reminding me about that. Now, let me get into changing the camera mode first, and then, okay, I told you that there were 3 people, A, B, C, and ended up with 27 marbles each. Now, just for the sake of reference, the last step, engineering always was either top down or bottom up. Engineering was always top down or bottom up. For this question, I can't go top down because there are variables here. But look at what is there at the bottom. There is numbers. So I rather go bottom up. Okay. The last step said C was tripling A and B, which means only if A had 9, it could have become 27. Only if B had 9, it could have become 27. And since all 3 of them had 81 marbles together, it clearly means the remaining 63 marbles was with C. Only then they can end up with 27 marbles each. The last step was C was tripling A and B. Okay. The second step was B was tripling A and C, which means if A had 3, only then it can become 9. C had 21, only then it can become 63. And interesting, right? All 3 of them had totally 81 marbles, which means the remaining 57 marbles was with B. Only then can have 81 marbles in the end. Now let's backtrack from bottom up to the last step on the top. B, only if B had 19, it can become 57. And only if C had 7, it can become 21. And again, since I had said all 3 of them had 81 marbles together, it clearly means the remaining 26, the remaining 55 marbles was with A. Only then they will have marbles overall. This is how you easily break down the problem by backtracking. Okay. To all the students out there, let me tell you what happened to those 5 girls before drives your brain mad, and then we will end the session. Remember, guys, when there are 5 people making 5 different statements, only 2 things can happen. Either all 5 girls are lying, or at most 1 of them is speaking the truth and 4 of them are lying. When 5 of them are making 5 different statements, say 2 people are speaking the truth because they are disagreeing with each other. Okay. So the entire problem has only 2 possibilities. Either all 5 girls are lying, or it means 4 girls are lying and at most 1 of them is speaking the truth. Now let me backtrack. Let's assume the first girl is speaking the truth. If the first girl is speaking the truth, she said exactly 1 of us lied. If that is the truth, only one of them must lie. If only one of them must lie, it means 4 of them must speak the truth. Is it possible here that 4 people are speaking the truth? No. Hence, the first girl is lying. If the second girl is speaking the truth, she said exactly 2 of us lie. If that is the truth, only 2 of them must lie. If only 2 of them must lie, it means 3 of them must be speaking the truth. Is this possible? No, 3 of them here cannot be speaking the truth. Hence, the second girl is also lying. If the third girl is speaking the truth, she said exactly 3 of us lie. If that is the truth, exactly 3 of them must lie. And if exactly 3 of them must lie, it means 2 of them must be speaking the truth. Is it possible here that 2 of them are speaking the truth? No. So even the third girl is lying. If the fourth girl is speaking the truth, she said exactly 4 of us lie. And if exactly 4 of them must lie, it means only one must speak the truth. Here, it is possible to have one of them speaking the truth. I'm not telling the fourth girl is the answer. It is possible to have one of them speaking the truth. Now, the fifth girl already said all 5 of us are lying. Obviously, she cannot speak the truth because it included herself. So the fifth girl is obviously lying. So the answer for the question is the fourth girl was speaking the truth and the other 4 girls were lying. Now you compare the statement back to the question, it will match properly. Okay, I've given all the answers possible for whatever questions I've given today. I hope it was informative. Okay, do you have any questions for me? Anybody has any questions for me? Any questions for me? I request the host to take over. I'm officially done. I'm signing off. Anybody from IEEE section who wants to add? Thank you, Bharat. It was lovely interacting with you. Thank you, everybody who interacted with me on the chat window.
I thank our guest, Mr. Anand
Thank you,
Malia, for his
Prashant.
valuable guidance. And I'm sure we have learned lot more things. I request Mr. Rohit Haman, Professor of Electronics and Communication Department, to give vote of thanks.
Very pleasant evening to one and all. All knowledge that the world has ever received comes from the mind. The infinite library of the universe is in our own mind. I, Rohit Aman, Assistant Professor, Department of ECE, with immense pleasure take this opportunity to present the vote of thanks for a wonderful session and for a personality development workshop on the world of problem solving. I can just tell you one best book is almost equal to 100 good friends, but one good friend is equal to a library, correct? So I wholeheartedly thank Mr. Anand Malia, who is a founder at Quantech Origin, for being one of the resource person for this particular workshop. Really, all our students have enjoyed a lot and they have really benefited a lot with this workshop. And I would like to thank our Dr. Ashwini Appaji, who is R10 YP Infinity Group Coordinator 2021 and an IEEE Bangalore Section XCOM member 2021, who has supported in all of our events. And Dr. Deepa Shanai, who is a Dean of UVCE, who has also joined us in this particular hosting of this event. In this occasion, I'll also thank Mr. Changappa sir, who is also supported in this hosting of this particular event. And who I wholeheartedly thank our Vidya Vikas Institute of Engineering and Technology Management members, all our HODs, and especially my sincere thanks to IEEE Mysore Subsection Chair, Dr. Bindu Thomas, and also VVIET IEEE Branch Counselor, Dr. Bindu Thomas, Madam, and all our faculty members who have really put their wholehearted efforts in this particular event. So correction does much, but encouragement does much more. With this, I'll try to thank all our IEEE members. My special thanks to all the participants who have joined this particular workshop for this day. There are many more to go ahead. So this knowledge sharing will never come an end. Thank you.
Yeah, lastly, I just want to say, like, it was an amazing session, and we really didn't get to know that it was 1 hour, how just this 1 hour went. And I request all the participants to just on the video so that we can have a group picture taken. So all the participants kindly switch on the videos. Yeah, Changappa, could you just check like if everybody have joined, we can take a screenshot. And yes, thank you so much, Anand, for this amazing session. And I know like everybody have really enjoyed your session. I mean, even now after the vote of thanks, I can see 100+ participants who are there. So this shows how interesting this whole session was. So thank you so much, Anand. And Changappa, you just take the screenshot, right? So I request all the participants to switch on your
I'm
videos.
waiting for folks to come on the video feed.
Yeah. And all of them, if you really love this section, kindly do, show your reactions as a thumbs up and or clapping, which I'm really doing it virtually. So it is just an amazing session. And I personally loved it. So this reactions shows how amazing this whole session was.
It means a lot of reactions. It was lovely. Thank you so much, people.
So I can just imagine if it was really, if it was one-on-one, like face-to-face, and I know how amazing it would be. You would really hear all these emotions as a big claps, and that would be a really loud auditorium. So I think this emojis will show you the same thing here virtually. Thank you so much, Anand, for sparing all your time.
Correct. It is very encouraging to see. It is encouraging to see a lot of claps, emojis spamming. It's a wonderful sign on phone.
Yeah, thank you. First thing, like we have to say thanks to these wonderful audience who are there here for 1 whole hour. And just I know like everybody really enjoyed this wonderful session. Thank you so much. Have a great day.